This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Loliam Kamara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. A newly constructed Gambia Teachers Cooperative Union building has been inaugurated in Farfany in the North Bank region, with Babu Karjuf, the Minister of Defense, who was the union's first CEO, presiding over the ceremony. Members of the village committee or community personnel from various units and other senior health officials attended the Albreda Health Center's Mayday Data presentation and award ceremony. For over a decade, rice seed farming has helped families in Nyali Sukuta in Central River Region North put food on the table, educate their children and build homes. But today, farmers say a shortage of tractors and power tillers is slowing production and threatening their livelihoods. And in international news, for decades, investors have viewed Africa's energy sector as high risk despite the continent's vast natural resources. But the global artificial intelligence boom could be changing that calculation. Also in sports news, the male volleyball club of the Gambia's YMCA made history by winning the 7th edition of the Senegambia Cup first time, defeating US ETP by 3 sets to 0 in a well-attended, keenly contested final at the Independence Stadium volleyball court. Those were the headlines. Coming up next is the news in detail. A newly constructed Gambia Teachers Cooperative Credit Union has been inaugurated in Farafenye in the North Bank region, with Babu Karjuf, the Minister of Defense, who was the union's first CEO, presiding over the ceremony. Don Williams was there, and his report is narrated by Usman Jata.
At the forecourt of the beautifully designed and well-constructed building, invited guests waited patiently for the commencement of the ceremony, alongside teachers being attended in preparation of the Eid feast known as Tobaski. The Gambia Teachers Cooperative Union, as is the case with many cooperative unions, plays a significant role in the lives of its members. This has been the case since its inception under the leadership of the first CEO, Babakar Ojuf, the current Minister of Defense. Alfaba, a GTU CCU board director, welcomed guests, reminding them that it is not just the opening of a new building, but the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with opportunities and collaboration.
We are grateful for the dedication, commitment, and hard work of the board and management of GTU CCU that made this significant milestone possible. And we look forward to join ahead together. As we open these doors, let them symbolize openness.
Dauda Kujabi, the GTU CCU's Chief Executive Officer, spoke about commitment to service and the importance of credit unions.
Today we are renewing a vision. We are committed to service. We are pronouncing our presence in Farafenye. We have been here. But whilst we are traveling down to this building, there is a commitment, a renewal of commitment in me. And we are also told from our mentors, by our mentors, credit unions serve as the surface cutting edge that can end poverty in any community.
Here is Mr. Fode Sanyang, NACOC's chief executive, representing the director, spoke about how credit and cooperative unions have grown and developed in the Gambia.
As a movement, total membership stood at 127,000. The savings mobilized by those members, stood at $3.8 billion. And the savings that we were able to give to our members stood at $2.9 billion. This is as of March 31st. To be specific on GTU CCU, and before I go to GTU, total assets of these 35 credit unions now stood at $5.3 billion.
Babakar Ojuf, the chief guest speaker and Minister of Defense, in his speech addressed the history and the challenging times they face before they could celebrate a day such as this, and he informed them of his connection to the GTU CCU.
It's not just an official state duty for me. It is a deeply personal homecoming. Many of you know me today in my capacity as the Minister of Defense, tasked with protecting the territorial integrity of this country and the peace and sovereignty of the nation. But long before I wore the mantle of national defense, I had the singular honor of serving as the very first manager and later general manager of the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Today, when I look back, I can only but give thanks.
Other speakers and invited guests included Babukar Boy, the Minister of Public Service and former Permanent Secretary of Education, Adama Jimba Job, the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Safi Nyasi, the first Vice President of the Gambia Teachers Union, representing GTU's President, as well as service chiefs from various units and members from the community. Osman Jata, QTV News.
Members of the village community, personnel from various units and other senior health officials attended the Albreda Health Center's maiden data presentation and award ceremony with the theme Quality Care Through Data-Driven Decision. Our regional reporter, Don Williams, was in attendance and sent this report, which is narrated by Jacqueline Coley.
Welcoming remarks were delivered by Mustafa Cham, who also performed the role of the moderator, followed by Musa Sow, the officer in charge of the facility. Musa Sow expressed optimism for the future of the Albreda Health Center.
As this is our first edition, we hope this event will become a tradition that strengthens teamwork, promotes accountability, encourages health competition, and motivates us to continue giving our best to the people we serve.
As a center whose work has positively impacted the community, it was fitting to hear the remarks by Mr. Lamin Tarawale on behalf of the community.
We are happy that this hospital exists and it's serving the purpose for which it was built. We faced a lot of difficulties. Before its existence, we struggled to go all the way to SL for medical assistance. But now, even the road heading to SL is in good condition.
During the presentation, Jenna Babalde, who was also named Nurse of the Year for both the Albreda Health Center and the North Bank West region, gave an overview of the outpatient performance data, while Fatim Bai from the maternity unit gave the presentation on delivery and birth outcomes for 2025, the year under review.
Looking at the data, as a facility, we did great. Out of the 431, 234 of those are all early booking. Early ANC booking is very important. This helps to reduce the risk of maternal death and neonatal complications.
Sunkarba, Aliu Jaju, and Binta S. Sanyang presented on lab service, EPI surveillance, and TB respectively. In conclusion, Musa Sow explained the facility's development, best practice, and challenges. Madam Fatumata Sumbunu, representing the regional principal nursing officer, encouraged the health unit head and team for embracing the culture of data ownership. Ibrahim Abalde, the regional director of Health North Bank West, explained what the government is doing to address some of the challenges faced in the health sector and commended the staff at this health center for what they are doing and urged them to continue serving their community.
One of the challenges that they have highlighted is the need to have a mortuary in the health facility. So, and already I think they have people who are ready to do this. So it's a matter of for them to come to the office and then we try to carve out a best way to ensure that this thing is made available. That will not take time. Now the other issue is like talking about medication. We have medications in the health facilities. Yes, because the fact of the matter is sometimes you go to the health center, a prescription is given to you. You may not have all the items, but you may have 1 or 2 or 3 of the items. Sometimes you go there, you can have all. So it depends on the supply chain.
At the end of the event, certificates and awards were given to the best staff in each unit with Lamin Majang scooping the Staff of the Year award, much to the delight of those in attendance. The staff and patients of the Albreda Health Center we spoke to were pleased with the success of this year's median data presentation and award ceremony. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Goli.
For over a decade, rice seed farming has helped families in Yani Sukuta in Central River Region North put food on the table, educate their children and build homes. But today, farmers say a shortage of tractors and power tillers is slowing production and threatening their livelihoods. Usman Jata reports.
The Kopia team, led by Director Kim, is crossing the Gambia River towards Barajali in the Central River Region North, the birthplace of the Gambia's first president, Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, on their way to Nyani Sukuta, where farmers are struggling to keep pace with the planting season. Under the hot sun, men and women bend over rice fields, working for hours to prepare land for transplanting. In Nyani Sukuta, rice seed cultivation has been more than farming. It has been a way of life for generations. But this year, growers say the lack of farming machinery is delaying work and raising fears about production. Their fields stretch across more than 100 hectares. Yet, farmers say access to tractors remains a major challenge.
The delay in transplanting was caused by several challenges. At first, we had water problems, but that improved. Our major challenge now is the lack of machines. Our swamp covers about 105 hectares, but we do not have a tractor in this part of CRR North for plowing. Farmers in CRR South completed their plowing before we could access a tractor from them, even though we received Kopia rice seedlings on the same day.
Farmers say there was a time when they could cultivate rice in both the rainy and dry seasons, helping farmers to earn enough to survive year-round. But without equipment, maintaining that level of production has become increasingly difficult. Now, many are calling on authorities for support.
We informed the agricultural authorities because the Director of Agriculture in Kuntaur is responsible for this area. We are appealing to the government to help us with tractors and power tillers. Buying these machines ourselves is very difficult, but if a tractor were available at the agricultural camp, we could easily rent it for our farming activities.
For veteran farmer Alaji Lamin Sise, rice farming is deeply personal. He says seed production once transformed lives in the village.
We have been growing rice seeds for more than 15 years, and it has brought great success to our group. Some farmers earn more than $50,000. Many use the proceeds to send their children to school, travel abroad, buy donkey carts, and build houses. But for the past 6 years, we have not cultivated seedlings consistently, and that has affected our progress.
Despite the challenges, farmers say support from Kopia has eased some of the burden.
We thank the Kopia team for providing us with rice seedlings, fertilizers, herbicides and pesticides in early February. In the past, we struggled to weed our fields while the rice was growing.
In Nyani Sukuta, rice farming is not only about harvest, it is about survival, dignity and hope for future generations. Farmers here believe that access to tractors and power tillers could help restore lost productivity and strengthen food security. Osman Chata, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national, international sports news stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back, and this is QTV News. I am Lolly M. Kamara. Here are the rest of tonight's stories. Along the Halihind River in Katong, women spend long hours smoking, drying and selling fish under difficult conditions. Despite the heat, smoke, poor storage, and lack of basic facilities, they continue working every day to provide for their families and support their communities. Julden Jai engaged them, and this is her report.
Before sunrise breaks over Katong, in the southwestern part of the Gambia, smoke is already rising from the riverside. Women gather around burning firewood, steaming drums and wooden racks filled with fish waiting to dry under the open skies. At the processing site along the Halahin River, which serves as the natural border between Gambia and Senegal's Casamance region, Mary Mensah, a fish processor and vendor, moves quickly between baskets of fish while smoke spreads heavily through the air.
This is our work. The men bring the gutter fish from the river and sell it to us. We cut it into smaller pieces, steam it, and take it to the markets in Brikama, Serakunda, and Sabiji. But sometimes when sales are poor, the fish gets spoiled and we lose a lot of money.
The women say storage remains one of their biggest challenges. Without enough ice or proper cold storage, unsold fish can quickly go bad. Even with these difficulties, the women show up every day.
That is why, no matter how difficult it is, we remain patient and committed. I pay my children's school fees, buy their clothes and take care of their needs from this work and have my small profit from it. I am happy with the proceeds I have here.
Nearby, Jenaba Baji, another fish processor and vendor, carefully turns rows of smoking fish over an open fire.
We wash the fish, smoked it, and keep turning it until it is properly cooked. The other one is salted cod fish. We preserve it with salt for 2 days before drying it.
She says many of the women have eye problems due to the years of walking around smoke. During the rainy season, conditions become even harder.
When the rain comes, we cannot dry or smoke the fish properly because the roof leaks. Sometimes we stop working completely or move to the only small place that is not leaking. During the rainy season, we work in turns.
For many families in Katong, the fish business is largely done by women.
Almost everything in the house is handled by women. School fees, books, uniforms, and even Tobuski clothes for the children. I was supposed to attend a naming ceremony today, but I stay because I need to finish this fish and sell it so my children can have clothes and shoes for Tobuski.
Health concerns also remain a major issue for the processors. The women rely on salty river water to wash and steam fish. Hawa Sambu, also a fish processor and vendor, says they know it is not the safest option, but they have no alternative.
The river water is salty and it should not be used to process fish, but we use it because we do not have fresh water or electricity here. We were trained and told not to use salty water for fish processing, but without support, we have no other choice.
Still every day, along the Halahin River, the women continue walking through smoke, heat and exhaustion. Their hands keep one of Katong's important local trades moving, while their earnings continue putting food on tables and children in school. Reporting for QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
Now, in international news. For decades, investors have viewed Africa's energy sector as high risk despite the continent's vast natural resources, but the global artificial intelligence boom could be changing that calculation. The explosive growth of AI, cloud computing and data centers is fueling an unprecedented demand for electricity, putting Africa's energy and digital infrastructure in the global spotlight. CGTN reports.
Africa's next infrastructure boom may not be built on roads and rail alone, but on the power demands of artificial intelligence.
Africa is still a growing market for AI and for cloud computing and for data centers generally. We have a very small proportion of data centers compared to our population globally, and therefore it's a massive growing market within Africa to contribute to the development of Africa.
The race is on to build data centers and AI factories across Africa, facilities that consume enormous amounts of electricity and water at a time when many countries are battling with supply constraints.
If you do a data center like Colossus of Elon Musk, for example, here to power whatever large language model, it's going to cost in the order of 100 billion rand, something like that, which can service 60 million people. But a data center like that will use, give it or take, 30% of the electricity of Johannesburg, just in terms of power. But more than that, it's going to consume more or less 6.5 million liters of water per day.
But rather than deterring investment, those challenges are accelerating a new wave of private capital into Africa's energy sector. Global tech giants are pouring billions into renewable energy, backup generation, and smart technologies to secure reliable power for future AI growth.
The likes of Amazon Web Services and Google Cloud and Oracle Cloud, Huawei Cloud as well. All of these are investing not only in the data centers but also in the power supply for those data centers, because a data center really depends on consistent, reliable energy. So they can't rely on the grid for that. So the result of that is that they become almost islands of power or of electricity.
So the technologies that we use in data centers, and this is more or less universal across data center providers across the African continent, are low water usage technologies. So we use cooling technologies that do not, for example, evaporate water. We use cooling technologies that contain water in closed-loop systems.
As AI transforms economies worldwide, investors are increasingly looking at the continent not as a risk, but as one of the last major growth frontiers for energy, infrastructure, and digital development.
And we've engaged quite a lot with the data centers. All of the big international sort of AI and hyperscalers have a presence in South Africa. It's seen as a strategic destination.
Africa currently accounts for less than 1% of global data centers' capacity, leaving enormous room for expansion. With vast renewable energy potential and a fast-growing technology market, the continent is positioning itself not just as a consumer of AI, but as a destination for investment. Julie Shar, CGTN, Cape Town.
Now, to some sports news. The male volleyball club of the Gambia's YMCA made history by winning the 7th edition of the Senegambia Cup first time, defeating US ETP 3-0 in a well-attended and keenly contested final at the Independence Stadium volleyball court on Sunday.
It was a history-making moment for YMCA's male volleyball team, winning 3-0 against Senegalese volleyball giants US ETP in an epic encounter at the Independence Stadium's volleyball court on Sunday in front of a cheering crowd. This contest was competitive, intense, and exciting to watch. Mamadi Kamara, coach of YMCA, shares the feeling of winning the Senegambia Cup for the first time.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, it has been a very difficult moment with us because during those past years, it was difficult for Gambian teams to win this championship. Most of them, like YMCA, they have been participating in this competition, and this is their first time for them to be winning this trophy rather.
The Senegambia Cup is a prestigious volleyball competition organized by the Gambia and Senegal, bringing together clubs from the two countries to compete against each other in male and female categories. The tournament promotes sportsmanship, competition, and friendship through volleyball. Here are by Dudu Jallo, the president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation, and Amadou Cissé, the Secretary General of the Senegalese Volleyball Federation, sharing their thoughts on the tournament. We are strengthening our friendship with the people of the Gambia through this tournament. It could have been just a competition where winning at all costs matter, but this competition is beyond that. We are more integrated through this competition.
The two national federations are working very closely on this initiative, and the youths of the two countries who are in volleyball are really integrated because of this competition.
In other categories, Sokosim of Senegal claimed the female indoor title, while the male beach volleyball title was claimed by the Gambia Armed Forces. And Sokosim also triumphed in the female beach volleyball category. The Senegambia Cup continues to strengthen sporting ties between the Gambia and Senegal, while providing a platform for clubs to showcase their talent and competitive spirit. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. A newly constructed Gambia Teachers Cooperative Union building has been inaugurated in Farafenni in the North Banka region, with Babukar Diouf, the Minister of Defense, who was the union's first CEO, presiding over the ceremony. Members of the village community, personnel from various units, and other senior health officials attended the Albreda Health Center's maiden data presentation and award ceremony. For over a decade, rice seed farming has helped families in Nyani Sukuta in Central River Region North put food on the table, educate their children and build homes. But today, farmers say a shortage of tractors and power tillers is slowing production and threatening their livelihood. And in international news, for decades, investors have viewed Africa's energy sector as high risk despite the continent's vast natural resources. But the global artificial intelligence boom could be changing that calculation. Also in sports news, the male volleyball club of the Gambia YMCA made history by winning the 7th edition of the Senegambia Cup first time, defeating US ETP by 3-0 in a well-attended, keenly contested final at the Independence Stadium volleyball court. That's all for this bulletin. There will be no 10 p.m. bulletin tonight, but you can join us again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.